Susan? What day is today? Oh. Is it Shabbat? Why is the rabbi calling me on Shabbat? It's been Shabbat for 4 months. Hello? Rabbi?
Yes, wow.
What?
How are you?
I'm good. What day is today? Is it Shabbat again?
Today is not Shabbat. It is Sunday, August 23rd. Very auspicious day.
Sunday, August.
Dinner.
Today is August 23rd. The dinner already? Live from my couch, and your couch, and your living room, and your garage, and maybe even your car. It's Ohel Moed of Shomrey Emunah's 34th annual dinner.
Special guests, Dana and Joel Letvin, David the Prez Fussell, Moses Friedman, Rabbi Yundif, Akiva Goldman, Dan Mendelson, and the crew from Ohel Moed of Shomrey Emunah. We would like to take this opportunity to thank our platinum sponsors. Good evening, and thank you for tuning in tonight to the Ohel Moed of Shomrey Emunah's 34th anniversary and the first remote dinner. My name is Sanford Shmuel Shulman, and on behalf of Ohel Moed of Shomrey Emunah, we are proud to be honoring our longtime members and community leaders, Dana and Joel Letvin. We hope you are comfortable wherever you are viewing this tonight. We look forward every year to meeting up for dinner and to take the time to acknowledge and thank those who publicly and privately help sustain the shul. Unfortunately, we're not able to meet up in person, but we appreciate you joining us tonight. I recently heard of a Jew in Russia who decided to make Aliyah to Eretz Yisrael. He made his way across Russia all the way to the border, and he was in the process of getting ready to leave to Israel when the border guard approached him. "Comrade, you want to leave Mother Russia?" he asked. "Haven't you had the opportunity to run your businesses and earn a livelihood?" The Jew looked at him and said, "I really can't complain. Haven't we provided you the opportunity to pray in your synagogues?" The Jew responded again, as I think about it, I can't complain. "Haven't we allowed your Jewish schools to go forward and to teach your children Torah?" The Jew looked and he nodded. He said, "You're right, I can't complain." So the Russian officer asked, "So, comrade, why do you want to leave Russia and move to Israel?" The Jew looked at him and he answered, "Because in Israel, I can complain." Tonight, however, you can't complain. You can't complain to the rabbi about parking or your centerpieces. You can't even complain about dinner. Tonight, we're going to put that to the side because we know we have a lot that we could complain about. And for tonight, just for a moment, we're going to honor one of our own. Have a laugh, maybe think about what the shul and those who dedicate their time and resources means, and what our shul means to the community. For many of us, Ohel Moed of Shomrey Emunah is where we turn to for some of the most important phases of our lives. A bris, a bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, engagements, classes, B'nai Akiva events, weekday minyanim, and for those saying Kaddish, it's an important place. And of course, Shabbat and holiday services. This has certainly been a unique year, and much has changed. Unfortunately, we have not been able to have much physical contact, and we all do miss that interaction. But I want to tell you that there has been some changes, and some of you may not have seen each other in quite some time. So I want to show you what some of the congregants look like, just in case you run into them. You may not recognize them. Here's David Eisner, in case you haven't seen him lately, but he's been working out in his basement. And here's Jeff Garden. So you recognize him when you see him running from the cola. I ran into Eliza Tip, who apparently has been headed to the space station. Our congregant, Akiva Goldman, claims he's been working on a house in Huntington Woods, but I want to tell you, I saw him on his couch the other day. And here's Dan Mendelson, and it looks like he's having a groovy time, despite the pandemic. Even Moses is taking up a new hobby. He hopes to be a rap star soon, I guess. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank our gold sponsors. Despite all these changes, the shul is still having services and classes. In fact, there's been times we've had about 18, 19 people attending services. Here's a recent photo, in fact, of our outside services, which have been in the parking lot at our shul. And during this time when we've been fighting COVID-19, this minyan has been meeting almost regularly. So in honor of the minyan, we're going to rename the shul services. We're going to call it the COVID-19. There have been a lot of strange changes as well. In fact, weird things have been happening. Recently, Mr. Schwartz has come to our shul. They had 9 people show up for the service last week, and all of a sudden this happened. These are some crazy times.
What time is it? Where is everybody? Should have signed up. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, Moses. Good to see you.
We'd like to thank our silver sponsors. There have been challenges, of course, that we cannot deny, and we have been trying to make accommodations to stay safe. Rabbi has been giving his classes outside in the parking lot, but I want you to watch this recent video and note that there has been some unexpected interruptions. Take a look.
In this week's Parsha, something very interesting. Direction.
Okay, you can look up to that.
In, see this.
We'd like to thank our bronze sponsors.
Shalom Aleichem Malachei Azoris Malachei Oy Malachei Oy Mi Melech Malachei HaMelachim Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shalom Aleichem Malachei Azoris Malachei Oy Malachei Oy Mi Melech Malachei HaMelachim Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh HaKadosh Baruch Hu
But we will get through it together and hopefully return soon to our indoor services. Also, while this has been going on, some of us have noticed that construction has continued across the street from our shul on what we thought was to be the West Bloomfield Splash Water Park. However, we saw that this might actually be a different establishment. In fact, it actually looks like a new Chabad. Look, the address looks like 770 Farmington Road. And then when we looked a little closer, yeah, we saw some of the folks who are on those water slides. Be assured, we will keep our eyes out. Prior to the pandemic, our shul had initiated a program to limit talking during services and to increase the focus on prayers. When the pandemic hit, we wondered maybe how we could sort of combine the two goals. Someone came up with the idea that members could pick up their new face coverings when they arrived. And here's what they came up with. In fact, women could also have protective gear. Recently, we saw Eddie and Dorothy Brock leaving shul. The idea is so good, we thought maybe we might not need a mechitza anymore. time, I'd like to call upon our esteemed Rabbi, Rabbi Eli Yundef, for welcoming remarks.
I would like to welcome all of you to the 34th annual dinner of Ohel Moed of Shomrey Emunah, the first virtual dinner. I would like to thank all of you who have supported this dinner and to make it a success that it is. Today's event would not have occurred if not for the inspirational leadership of Shmuel Sanford Shulman. Shmuel took the initiative and said that not only should we have a dinner, but we could have a dinner, and he pursued it despite the skepticism expressed by others. I would like to express my thanks to Sanford, his wife Susan, and staff and family and staff who work so diligently with intensity and devotion to bring to fruition this wonderful program that we have today. I am very fortunate and grateful to have as our honorees this year Joel and Dana Letvin. Joel and Dana are very low-profile individuals shunning the limelight. And it was with reluctance that they accepted to be this year's honorees. But they were willing to do so to benefit their shul, Ohel Moed of Shomrey, Emunah. And Dana have been part of Ohel Moed since its establishment in 1986. Joel would walk miles and miles to join the service. And even after they moved closer to the shul, cutting the distance in half, Joel was still walking the furthest from anyone else to join the service on a weekly basis. Joel and Dana, with their family, have been a part of our shul, and we have seen their children, Michael, Amelia, and Alex, grow up in our shul. I had the privilege and honor to officiate at Amelia and Jeff's wedding last year. I believe that I can define the essence of Joel and Dana based upon a verse from last week's Torah reading. The verse says, Ki ha'adam eitz hasadeh. Adam, the human, is compared to the eitz hasadeh, to the trees of the field. What is this comparison of the human with the trees? It has been explained. The tree defies the laws of nature. In nature, there is a force that pulls things down called gravity. The tree defies the law of gravity. It sprouts forth from the ground, growing tall, defying that force, that gravitational pull. A human being also has a spiritual gravitational pull. That pull brings him down to sink in the muck of desire and lust. The nature of a human being is to have defective characteristic traits. A person is in constant pursuit of happiness. And our sages tell us a person leaves this world with only 50% of reaching his goal of fulfilling his desires.
Shalom Aleichem Malachei Asheris Malachei Oy Malachei Oyoy Mi Melech Malchei HaMelachim Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shalom Aleichem Malachei Asheris Malachei Oy Malachei Oyoy Mi Melech Malchei HaMelachim Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh HaKadosh Baruch Hu
At this time, we're pleased to introduce our honorees, Dana and Joel Letvin.
רבות אברהם הזה בדרך, ואני הולך עם ראש למעלה, כל אחד ובנו בת של מלך. ככה היה, וככה זה גם עלה, יהודים נשמה בוערת. בכל מקום ובכל ארץ, לא רוצה שיהיה אחרת. יהודי אני, זה משהו נצחי. בני אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, בני שרה רבקה, רחל ולאה. בני אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, בני שרה רבקה, רחל ולאה. עברי אנוכי ויעש השם, אלוקי השמיים אני יורד. 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 A little bit of history I've been through. Ask me where I'm from, and I will tell you I'm a Jew, and every Jew's a proud Jew. Not just me, my sisters and my brothers. Never be ashamed to be a proud Jew. It's not what you've done, it's how he made you. So sing this song and spread the pride around you. Yehudi ani, eternally. Hey Abraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, b'nei Sarah Rivka, Rachel v'Leah. Hey Abraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, b'nei Sarah Rivka, Rachel v'Leah. Ivri anoichi v'yesach.
This is Amelia and my husband of 1 year, Jeffrey Blumenthal. And we just returned to our home in Albany, California from a road trip across the United States. And we're very happy to contribute to this appreciation of my parents. So I would like to discuss 3 different things with you. First thing is their devotion to Judaism. The second thing is why I love them, and I think they're the best. And finally, I'll share with you something that you may not know about them. So my mom has been studying with Rabbi Yundiv, one-on-one learning for decades. And before COVID, she was meeting with numerous women's groups several times a week on a weekly basis. And some of you may know, but it's worth mentioning again, that my dad has read the Daf Yomim several times. And in addition to direct Torah study, he brings his bees to many classrooms around Rosh Hashanah and teaches kids about bees and how they contribute to a sweet and healthy new year. In addition to this, they give charitable donations to too numerous organizations to mention, which has instilled in me and my brothers a great sense of the importance of tzedakah, of giving of the wallet, and also of giving of your time and your heart. So I'm going to talk now about why I love them and I think they're the best. They have allowed and encouraged me to be the creative nerd that I am today. I was raised to be an independent thinker, to be bold, daring, and to question everything. So although we may have disagreements at times, that is a direct result of how I was raised. And something I'll share with you that you might not know about them. My mom likes to sing while she cooks, oftentimes Motown, but sometimes Reba McEntire or Kathy Mattea. And my dad is a master of dad jokes, and he used to have a round wooden coin that said TUIT on it. And when we were kids and would say, I'll get around to it, he would hand us this round to it and say, well, here's your round to it. Now go get her done. So now Jeff will share a few words.
Dana and Joel, congratulations on this award. It's very special. Most days this praise goes without saying, but today is different. You gave me my wonderful spouse and partner, Amelia, and you raised all of your children to be kind and strong and independent thinkers, which speaks to what wonderful parents you are and have always been. Within the context of Ohel Moed, I've only shared that with you once when everybody was throwing candy at me, but it speaks to how warm and welcoming you've helped make the congregation. And Joel, working the hives with you once and hopefully more times in the future, gave me an admiration for your appreciation for our non-human friends, just like Dana's compassion for the dogs, all of which shows your depth of caring. And of course, your love now for all of your grandchildren. So a toast, here's to you and many more years of all you bring to the community, which also gives us lots of time for debate and celebration and tzedakah and sweetness. So l'chaim.
L'chaim.
Hi everybody, Alex and Kari Letvin here, son of Joel and Dana and their new grandson Franklin. Just wanted to call in to the shul dinner and just give a heartfelt mazel tov to my parents for this great honor, for honoring them at the shul dinner. They definitely deserve it. My parents have been pillars in this community pretty much since I can remember. Lived in West Bloomfield our whole life, and always, all of my memories as a child involved going to Ohel Moed, and I just want to thank my parents and Ohel Moed for, the way that they raised us and just instilling these important values into my life, which my wife and I are now instilling into our son Franklin. And Ohel Moed in general was it was a huge part of my upbringing. I spent a lot of time there growing up as a kid. And it really did a lot to form the person that I am today. And hopefully that's a good thing, up for debate, I guess. But I think I kind of like the way I turned out, and I think other people do too. So thank you, Ohel Moed and my parents, for all that you've done, and for instilling the values of Judaism in us, in a world where there's so much wrongdoing going on. It's good to have a beacon of a place like Ohel Moed and West Bloomfield and my parents' house, where we can always trust that the right thing is happening and we're learning from the best people. And so congrats again, Mom and Dad. Again, you really deserve this. A little overdue in my opinion, but we'll forgive Ohel Moed for that. And yeah, sorry we can't all be there in person, but maybe hopefully soon we'll be able to meet in person one day.
Mazel tov, Dana and Joel. I did say Joel.
Joel.
I did say Joel.
Okay, Franklin. Say Say Mazel Tov to Mama and Zadie. Mazel Tov! All right. Enjoy your dinner. Thanks.
How does a person transcend and go and defy this gravitational pull? Our sages tell us, Hashem says, Borasi Yetzer Hara, I created the evil inclination. Borasi Torah Tavlin, and I created a Torah that's an antidote that makes the person triumphant over his evil inclination. Torah is that special ingredient that possesses this power. Joel and Dana both understand the importance of Torah learning. Joel, with the encouragement of his wife Dana, has immersed himself in the study of Talmud, keeping a disciplined program to complete a page a day of Talmud called Daf Hayomi. And recently, Joel completed the fourth cycle of Daf Hayomi, which spans over 30 years. A tremendous accomplishment. Not too many people can make such a claim. And God willing, Joel should be blessed with enough time to complete at least 3 more cycles of Daf Hayomi. In addition, Joel also comes to study at Ohel Moed to my Talmud class on a weekly basis. And he has been attending that class for years and years. Dana as well studies Torah. Dana comes to my Monday class for women, and she has attended that class for years and years. In addition, Dana attends a women's group of Torah study that is part of Partners in Torah. They truly understand the importance of Torah learning to be elevated and triumphant over the evil inclination. There's another aspect of this comparison between the human being and the tree. The word tree in Hebrew is eitz. There's another word in Hebrew that shares the same root, and that is eitzah, advice, counsel. What is the relationship between eitz, a tree, and eitzah, counsel? Rabbi Avigdor Miller explains that back in the day, before air conditioning, the governing body would meet outdoors under the tree providing shade from the sweltering heat of the sun. So the tree, the function of it is not for itself, but rather to give to the world what it needs. The tree provides shade. The tree produces fruits. And the tree converts carbon dioxide into the life-giving oxygen that we all need. This defines Joel and Dana, who are individuals who don't live for themselves, but for the community. For many years, Dana and Joel would host a sukkah gathering for their neighbors to enable them to fulfill the mitzvah of eating in a sukkah. Dana ushers in the summer season at Ohel Moed. She enhances the shul by planting beautiful flowers at the beginning of the summer to make it more cheerful when one comes in to Ohel Moed. Joel, in his quiet way, does many, many things for Ohel Moed. Amongst them, establishing the computer program for administrative purposes in the shul. We have our sukkah, and in order to keep it from leaning and toppling over, Joel has a special trucker's nut that he is the one that keeps our sukkah standing, secure, should not topple. Perhaps more importantly, Joel is from the core of individuals who come to services on a daily basis, morning and evening, to enable all of us to be able to pray with a quorum. Joel and Dana keep everyone in mind at the beginning of the new year. They provide small jars of honey to begin a sweet new year. And in fact, I asked Joel, the work is so demanding, and your physical energy is not the same as it used to. It's more challenging. Why continue? And he looks at me and he says, there's so many people who are waiting for that jar of honey. How could I turn them down? That's commitment to live, to help others, not to live for themselves. In appreciation of Joel and Dana being our honorees for this year's virtual dinner, I would like to present them with a gift of appreciation. I want to present them with a silver honey dish to be used on Rosh Hashanah on a regular basis. I believe that this honey dish carries both messages that I spoke about before. King David tells us that the Torah of Hashem is misukim midvash uminofes tzufim. It is sweeter than honey and the drippings of its comb. Torah is truly sweet. Joel and Dana could both attest to the sweetness of Torah, greater than the sweetness of honey. This honey dish also conveys the message that a person should be like the tree that is there to provide for others. The honey that the Letvins supply every year demonstrates their understanding of the value of being selfless to give for others. And this year, so I'd like to present to you both this silver honey dish and the inscription, which could not be placed on the honey dish itself. I am going to read the inscription, and it's actually a poem written by my wife. Expanding their Torah knowledge, Joel and Dana continue to strive. Attending shul classes regularly, their passion comes alive. Joel joins our minyan every day and walks each Shabbos and Yom Tov, though he is furthest away. He studies the Talmud as a daily routine, desiring no kudos, avoiding the screen. To beautify our shul, Dana takes on the task, planting flowers and maintaining them through the season they last. Their character traits are impeccable too, sweet as honey in all that they do. I would like to thank Joe and Dana for being this year's honorees. May Hashem grant you long life to finish more cycles of Daf Yomi, good health, prosperity, simchas, and to continue to dish out more and more honey. May we all merit to greet Moshiach Tzidkenu speedily in our day. Mazel Tov.
Thank you very much.
You.
We're very honored
Thank you, Rabbi.
by this honor. Let's see what we got here. Oh, that's nice. Very nice. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Thank you.
So we're really greatly honored to be honored by the show. We know we don't deserve it, and but still, it's nice. We want to thank Hashem for all He's given us, for our family, and also for our great shul that we have here in West Bloomfield. It's really a nice thing to have, but I think really it's underappreciated. We have a minyan every day now in the parking lot, but before that we had morning and afternoon and evening. And it was always a big problem getting people to come. Unfortunately, everybody's going to need that minyan from time to time, and if it's not there, what can you do? You need the minyan. Not only is it good for davening, but the Devar Torah that the rabbi gives every day is amazing. It says somewhere that you should learn morning and evening. So if you come in the morning, you learn Mishnah. And you come in the evening, the rabbi discusses the parsha of the week. But it's not just a regular parsha discussion. He goes to great depth to bring out something different every time. Everybody can find a Rashi or an Onkelos, the Targum. But for about 1 month, I started writing down the people that the rabbi chose to help with the parsha. And here's a list just from 1 month to show you the depth of his knowledge and how the effort he makes to, enlighten us. So this is a list, just from 1 month. He brought down something from the Chasam Sofer, Rashi, Chazon Ish, from the Medrash, the Maharil Diskin, the Chilta, Sefer HaMachne, Maseh Chachma, Ivrei Malkiel. I don't even know who all these people are, but there's a lot of them. Got Moshe Feinstein, Rabbi Zilberstein, the Ger Rebbe, the Alshif, the Ben Ish Chai, the Dubna Magid, the Satmar Rebbe, Or HaChaim, the Ochstrasar Rebbe, the Steipler, Yonatan Ebeshit, the Seder Hadavis, Rabbi Feinstein, and the Tziv. These are in like 1 month, just for the time between Mincha and Marad, where he's talking about the parsha. He goes to great length to enlighten us about what's going on in each day's parsha reading. So really, if you could help from time to time, it would help. Maybe commit a day a week or 2 days a week. it would be really appreciated, because we really have a gem here in West Bloomfield. The rabbi, not to mention the Rebbitzin, if you have a taxes question, the rabbi doesn't even answer it. He goes to the Rebbitzin because she knows more than he does on this. So really take advantage of what we have, and like to see you more often, not just on Shabbos, but during the week too. Anything to say, Dana?
No. I just want to thank the rabbi for all the wonderful Monday classes that I've been going to with him for probably 20 years. And I would like to invite all the other women of the shul to join us when this pandemic is over. Thank you.
רבות עברם הזה בדרך, ואני הולך עם ראש למעלה, כל אחד הוא בן או בת של מלך. ככה היה, וככה זה גם עלה, יהודים נשמה בוערת. בכל מקום ובכל ארץ, לא רוצה שיהיה אחרת. יהודי אני, זה משהו נצחי. בני אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, בני שרה רבקה, רחל ולאה. בני אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, בני שרה רבקה, רחל ולאה. עברי אנוכי ויעש השם, אלוקי השמיים אני יורד. 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 A little bit of history I've been through. Ask me where I'm from, and I will tell you I'm a Jew, and every Jew's a proud Jew. Not just me, my sisters and my brothers. Never be ashamed to be a proud Jew. It's not what you've done, it's how he made you. So sing the song and spread the pride around you. Yehudi ani, eternally. Hey Abraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, b'nei Sarah Rivka, Rachel v'Leah. Hey Abraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, b'nei Sarah Rivka, Rachel v'Leah. Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem, elikei hashamayim ani yoreh. 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 Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem, elokei 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 hashamayim ani I'm a Jew and I'm proud and I sing it out loud, 'cause forever and ever that's what I'll be. I'm a Jew and I'm proud and without a doubt Hashem is always watching over me. Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem, elikei hashamayim ani yoreh. 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 Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem, hashamayim ani yoreh. Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem, elikei hashamayim ani
For those of you who do not know Dana Letvin very well, I'd like to tell you that she on her own every year has taken upon herself to plant flowers in floral arrangements in front of our shul just prior to the holidays, as the rabbi noted in his speech today. But this has been a unique year, and we noticed that Dana was able to actually do this by Zoom, which is quite impressive. Take a look. And Joel, we want to thank you for your dedication to the shul and your special knowledge that you have shared with all of us regarding bees and honey. But I don't know if everyone knows that you're also pretty knowledgeable in terms of wildlife and birds. So someone thought maybe you could combine those two interests during the pandemic. And you can give us a class, not just about the bees, but maybe about the bees and the birds. I bet we will have a great turnout for that class.
רבות העם הזה בדרך, ואני הולך עם ראש למעלה, כל אחד ובנו בת של מלך. ככה היה, וככה זה גם עלה, יהודים נשמה בוערת. בכל מקום ובכל ארץ, לא רוצה שיהיה אחרת. יהודי אני, זה משהו נצחי. בני אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, בני שרה רבקה, רחל ולאה. בני אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, בני שרה רבקה, רחל ולאה. עברי אנוכי ויעש השם, אלוקי השמיים אני יורד. 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 A little bit of history I've been through. Ask me where I'm from, and I will tell you I'm a Jew, and every Jew's a proud Jew. Not just me, my sisters and my brothers. Never be ashamed to be a proud Jew. It's not what you've done, it's how he made you. So sing the song and spread the pride around you. Yehudi ani, eternally. Hey Abraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, b'nei Sarah Rivka, Rachel v'Leah. Hey Abraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, b'nei Sarah Rivka, Rachel v'Leah. Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem, elikei hashamayim ani yored. 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 Ivri anoichi v'yes Hashem.
On behalf of Ohel Moed of Shomrey Emunah, we would like to thank the rabbi and the rebbitzin and the shul dinner committee, including David Bussell, Morris Penner, Lorraine Storchin and Moses Friedman, Susan Schulman, David and Susie Eisner, and of course, Dana and Joel Letvin and their family. And to all of you who continue to support Ohel Moed of Shomrey Emunah, we thank you and hope to share simchas in the future, in person, and some future laughs. Good night, and be careful when you get off your couch.
Me, 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 me.